It's so easy to pick the wrong travel credit cards for your family. When our family of 5 got into points, I chose the wrong card. My Bonvoy Brilliant card from American Express was not the right starting point. Then I went chasing the next shiny bonus instead of building a plan. But once we flipped it and started with how we wanted to travel first, everything changed. More trips, nicer hotels, and most importantly, less cash out of pocket. In this video, we're going to walk through a 4-step decision tree so that by the end, you'll know exactly which type of cards fit your family. First, be brutally honest. How often are you and your family actually able to travel? That number is probably very different from how often you'd like to travel. Nicole and I don't argue about this, but we do have some passionate discussions. Our families are all in different situations. Are your kids young enough that they can miss a few days of school? Are you locked into school vacation weeks? We travel 4 or 5 times a year just for gymnastics competitions before we even add vacations. You need to figure out whether your family is an occasional, regular, or frequent trip taker. Occasional is 1 to 2 trips a year, probably domestic, mostly during school breaks. Regular is 3 to 5 trips a year, maybe with 1 international trip in the mix. Frequent families are taking 6+ trips a year or going international a lot of the time. If you're a 1 big trip and maybe 1 weekend family, embrace it and enjoy that time together. But you do not need a card with a $700 annual fee. Drop in the comments which bucket you're in, occasional, regular, or frequent. This one decision alone can filter out a ton of wrong card choices. Now that you know how often your family is going to be traveling, let's talk about where you want to sleep when you get there, because your hotel style is going to make or break your card strategy. There are a lot of hotel chains out there, but for most families, I recommend focusing on one of the big 3, Hilton, Hyatt, or Marriott. Here's why. Each of the big 3 has a wide range of options for families. They've got budget-friendly hotels that are cheap and clean, they've got true luxury resorts, and they've got a ton of properties in the middle. IHG and Choice can absolutely work, especially if they already fit where you travel, but they don't offer the same mix of family-friendly budget, mid-scale, and aspirational luxury that Hilton, Hyatt, and Marriott do. Once you've picked a main hotel family to focus on, keep going with that honest self-appraisal. What type of hotel style does your family enjoy? Are you a clean room and free breakfast family? Do you like nicer full-service hotels with a good pool and more upscale vibes? Or are you chasing those big, splashy resort stays a couple of times a year? And don't underestimate a free breakfast. For the 5 of us, a free breakfast is a big deal. Here's how that hotel style should drive your card choices. If you're mostly happy in a basic room with free breakfast, you probably want a simple, lower fee hotel card in your main chain. Something that gives you a free night each year, automatic status for things like late checkout and Wi-Fi, and maybe earns a bit more on your everyday spending. For this kind of family, a bunch of ultra premium hotel cards are usually overkill. If you like those nicer full service properties, good pool, better lobby, maybe a club lounge, then a mid-tier co-branded hotel card can make a lot of sense. The annual fee is higher, but you're getting better status, more useful free night certificates, and perks you'll actually use on every stay. At this level, it's also time to start looking at a transferable points card to support your main hotel card. That way, if cash prices are too high or a stay costs more points than you have in your hotel account, you can move transferable points over to top off what you already have. For example, we're planning a trip to New York City, and everything is more expensive there. So having transferable points lets us top off our hotel points for that extra night our family of 5 needs, instead of paying cash. If you want to learn how to take your family farther for less, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos like this every week. If you're dreaming about big resort stays, suites, or those bucket list hotels once or twice a year, that's where the premium cards start to shine. A top tier hotel card or premium transferable points card can be worth the annual fee when you're using the free night certificates, resort credits, and bonus earnings to book those bigger redemptions. So think about it this way. Free breakfast in a clean room? Start with a low fee card. Nicer full service hotels? Look at those mid-tier cards in your chosen chain. Big resorts and suites? Consider one premium hotel or transferable points card that really matches that goal. Your goal is not to collect every shiny hotel card. Your goal is to pick one main hotel family and one level of card that actually fits how you like to travel. Now, let's talk about how you're going to get there, your flights. This part is a little different from hotels because with airlines, your starting point really needs to be where you live. For flights, your main airline should usually be the one that has a hub in your home airport. For example, our main airport is Miami, so we've been flying American a lot. It's not necessarily because we're obsessed with the brand, it's just the practical choice. They have the most flights, the best schedules, and the most non-stops from where we live. And that's true for you too. Don't start with your favorite logo, start with your map. If you live in Atlanta, your strategy should probably be built around Delta. If you're in Chicago or Denver, it's likely United. And if you're in a city where Southwest has a big presence, they can be a stronger option for families than you might think. It's their companion pass. We've used it before and it's saved us a ton of money. But the trade-off was often inconvenient flight times and extra connections. It offers huge value, but just know the logistics can be harder. Once you've identified that home hub airline, keep that honesty flowing. What kind of flying does your family actually do? Are you mostly taking simple domestic trips, visiting grandparents, going to the beach, or quick long weekend hops? Do you care more about flying a little more comfortably? Better boarding groups to get overhead bin space, or maybe some lounge access on longer travel days? Or are you saving up for those big international trips in premium cabins? Here's how that style should drive your card choices. If you're mostly doing basic domestic flights to visit family, you probably want a simple airline card with your hub airline. The main goal here is usually saving money and hassle. You want a card that gives you a free checked bag and maybe priority boarding so you aren't fighting for space for the diaper bag. The free checked bag is key because most airline cards apply that perk to multiple people on your reservation. When we flew to Vancouver, we saved $350 on baggage fees on that one trip. On your next family trip, a basic card can pay for itself instantly. If you want a bit more comfort, maybe you're taking longer trips or you travel frequently for work too, then a mid-tier airline card makes sense. You pay a higher annual fee, but you're often getting lounge access, better earning rates on tickets, and sometimes a boost toward elite status. And just like with hotels, if your goal is international travel or flexibility, you need to look at transferable points. This is crucial because airline award availability can be tricky. If your hub airline wants 120,000 miles for a ticket to Europe, having transferable points means you aren't stuck. You can transfer those points to a partner airline and often book the exact same flight for way less. In fact, most of our American Airlines flights are actually booked using points transferred to British Airways or Qantas just to save miles. So let's think about it like this. Simple domestic trips, get the card that gives your family free bags. Frequent flyer looking for comfort, look at those mid-tier cards with lounge perks. But if you have big international goals, you need a transferable points card to give you options when your main airline is too expensive. We aren't collecting cards the way your kids collect Pokemon cards. You don't have to catch them all. You don't want every airline card. Your goal is to pick the airline that owns your home airport and the card that matches how you actually fly. Finally, step 4. This is the one people often skip, but it's huge. What is your family's actual level of luxury? When you see people online talking about points, they're usually showing off $20,000 first-class suites or overwater bungalows. And that's great marketing. But you need to ask yourself, is that actually how you want to travel? Or do you just want to travel more? Be honest about which of these 3 camps you fall into. Camp 1 is team economy. Your goal is quantity over quality. You don't care if you're in row 36 or if the hotel is a basic Fairfield Inn and Suites as long as it's clean and safe. You want your points to stretch as far as possible so you can take 3 family trips a year instead of 1. If this is you, stop looking at high annual fee luxury cards. Stick to cards with simple but solid perks that cover the basics you really need. Camp 2 is practical comfort. This is where a lot of families land. You aren't flying private, but you're done with the cheapest possible option. Maybe you need a hotel suite with a separate door. Years ago, Nicole and I had to hide in the bathroom so that our toddler could fall asleep. Maybe you need direct flights to avoid meltdowns. For this group, you want mid-tier cards that offer sweet spot perks, like free night certificates or automatic hotel status that gets you a room upgrade. Camp 3 is aspirational experiences. This means you want to use points to buy things you could never pay cash for. You want to fly business class to Europe or stay at the Waldorf Astoria. You're okay with taking fewer trips if those trips are unforgettable. If this is you, you absolutely need premium cards with transferable currencies, Chase, Amex, Capital One, Citi. You need the ability to move points to partners to book those $1,000 a night rooms for pennies. There is no wrong answer here, but you have to pick a lane. If you chase luxury cards but actually travel like team economy, you're just wasting money on annual fees for perks you'll never use. Before you apply for that next shiny card you saw on Instagram, run it through this 4-step decision tree. Ask yourself, how often do we actually travel? Do we need free breakfast or a full resort? Which airline owns our home airport? And are we team economy or are we chasing that business class dream? Once you answer those 4 questions, the right card usually becomes obvious. You stop chasing bonuses and start building a strategy that actually works for your family. If you're still stuck or debating between 2 specific cards, drop a comment down below. Tell me your home airport and which hotel chain you prefer, and I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. And if you want to see exactly how we save money on those practical comfort trips we mentioned, check out this video right here about our spur-of-the-moment trip to Chicago for $56. As always, thanks for spending some of your time with me, and until next time, safe travels.